Good morning and thanks for joining us for Tuesday's edition of Press Review right here on Luntha TV, today being the 23rd of August in the year 2022. And as usual, we've come with this program where we get to look over some of the stories that are appearing in our newspapers. And today you're with me, Tandi Nzumara, and I'll be taking you through the Daily Times newspaper. And
I am King Mates Kamendo. I'll be guiding you through the Nation newspaper.
Good morning, by the way.
Good morning, Ms. Nzumara. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good.
Thank you. I think you may start.
Okay, so for today, I will be the one starting indeed. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, there is a story which says the Energy Minister gives a blackout, and it says Minister of Energy Ibrahim Matola yesterday set out to establish the cause of the worsening power blackouts in the country, but ended up giving a news blackout on his findings. The minister started his mission with a meeting with electricity generation company Genco management in Luntha yesterday before meeting Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi ESCOM later in the day.
All right, I don't know how you're looking about these blackouts, but we're having a lot of them. You know, we've been having these situations whereby when you're going to bed, the lights are not there, and when you're waking up, they're not there. Not because they didn't actually come on, but because anayaga and then the azima even within a few hours. But then it is becoming worse. And from what I hear, they're saying we must expect when things are going to get better by the 23rd of December this year. They've made it a few December.
Now I'll tell you that was about Christmas. Anyway, we know the economy of the country depends much on the electricity. And I'm building chitos my small businesses, my barber shop, and that how welding even in maybe they're opting for electricity. But even now, I'm not gas something. So China did just say in terms of power supply, what to know, Magasu, past 10 usiku ikamafika past 2 past 3 mamawa magazine so mugasi la fiti kutazika tamba kwa wala kapena.
All right, moving on to the second page of the Daily Times newspaper. A headline here is Court allows Bushiri case witnesses to testify in SA, and part of the story reads that the Chief Resident Magistrate Court in Lilongwe has ordered that South African witnesses in the extradition case involving enlightened Christian gathering leader Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary testify while in South Africa. As per procedure, Chief Resident Magistrate Madalitso Shimwaza has since committed the matter to the High Court, which will coordinate with the South African courts on the matter. I don't know if you've been following this issue, but it has dragged for so long, especially in Kanyama witnesses. Chifuka Benas Mazakanga Funa especially Makota South Africa Mafuna will Bushida. So I think finally there's a light at the end of the tunnel. The case maybe won't drag for long, and then we may move forward. Yes.
Kuti alo na kuti apange testify while they are in
virtual, yes, virtually. Unena kuti azileka umboni hoko mande kuti azioneka ngatikati kwendiro tipa zoom kanyo tipa kanemba kwa masuja achita kubwera kwa masizi makanga kesi imakanga libanga drag for so long, which means when at least zikanga ndi relief so kuma court fali minambi ambili mamwana athu kuti azikhala kugamula usana kuti zingoyima pamwando omo.
Yeah, I think it's a good development because I don't see any different because whether they are here physically or they deliver via witnessing virtually, I don't think there is a difference. So I think it's a good development. The good thing to make you then we move on.
Of course.
All right. I have a similar story like the one that I've read on the front page about electricity, and this one says MPs caution against electricity hike, and it says the joint committee of 4 parliamentary committees has called on electricity generation company Genco to put on hold its proposal for electricity tariff hike, saying Malawians are not ready for the hike. Now, I hope you have also been following this issue. Panatoka proposal na kuti afuna aveze mtengo wa magesi. I think was it by 80%?
No, it's 100%.
100%. Yeah, so
wait, is it 99.9?
99.9.
If you talk 99.9, it's 100%.
Yeah, so I think anakaunda ndaulona kuti magesi o mena kuvutira mundi menemu komanso kapezeka some liberation nina kuti Eskom kaina na magwa Malawi kuti akugula magesi pa mtengo wina yes, almost doubling the amount. Now they want to hike the tariffs. I think ababa MP now they have represented Malawians, because since how is also so MP wa maimilira antu tazi zinaza kama panga zofuna zao kuma this time around. Big up guys. I think abangadi zimena antu akufuna fana hodandala kwambiri.
Of course, I just hope kunena kuti that is going to be a solution to that, and kuti we are not going to hear more talks on that. Unena kuti kaya ukambira nabe ngekweyo. I hope kuti zikhangalize kuthera kompo kuti mena akanamo zikhaliza kanendwa ndithu chifukwa unewe chokungamo ngeti libano magetsa kuthima thima magetsa amene afuna kuti akweze mtengo magetsa
yati tilo zambia kapeta
drama zake zizo zimene anthu akhala kuli
ndizovuta kwambiri.
You get so zinthu sizili bwino nde kukweza kwa zinthuku ndona bodi sizikuyendabe. Still on national news, headline here says pastor arrested for indecent assault, and part of the story here reads police on Sunday arrested a 30-year-old pastor for indecent assault involving his 2 sisters in the name of cleansing them from evil spirits. I don't know if you've heard about this story. Nkhani yomwe inanena kuti inabanga kayenzo buno
2 sisters.
Yes,
his own sisters.
No, actually it seems kuti si my sisters ake
kuma members of the church, right?
Ndizikone kuti ndi members
ministry yake.
Yes,
I think it has to be a ministry, right?
It is a ministry because akuchula they are saying kuti mpingo amana kuti I think it's not written in here, and in Come to Jesus Ministries. Yes, so that's the name of the ministry. And it seems cleansing them from evil spirits. Yes, so at some point when you hear Nkaninga disease, entire Zambili as my amakala victims to Zentungati is, which makes us question what exactly do people really know God?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because I think you would never believe or who claims to be trying to cleanse you in such indecent ways.
But also it's not good kumana mizira kuti ndino azibusa yeti muli ndizo linga zina zanu za persono zonyasa zoipa zonyazisa zina la Mulungu, because izizi ndi zimene zikupangisa nuna kuti muna makanthu ambiri asimakhulupirire, even those who are truly serving the name of God.
Of course.
Yes, so pena pake muna make ndi nthawi yoti tiyeni tilemekezeni Mulungu kuti kuti Mulungu chifuna chake nchotani komanso Mulungu amafuna chani, because I don't know and I cannot believe now kuti Oyu he's a pastor. He's just an imposter.
I would like to believe so too, but then you never know, because they still think this is the right way. Because as much as with some negative attitude towards this, there's some people who don't see the problem with that. So
anyway, maybe one of them is the sisters, because now Africa would have women now would busa bwera nipanga ni motoro mu mizimu
wewe. In fact, izimene chinachiteka ndinotasika nawa apita akapanga cleanse adapita kunyumba akafotoza kama makolo awo ati napita zaitika makolo ati mwati nani
ngabula kanina no
police.
Exactly. Okay, I'm on the 4th page of the Nation newspaper, and there is a story which says the government says the refugees relocation deadline, and the Minister of Homeland Security has set November 30th, 2022 and February 30th, 2023 as deadlines for refugees and asylum seekers to return to the refugee camp in Doha district. This follows High Court Judge Mandala's Mamlasa's ruling August 12th, 2022 that set aside aside a stay order and it discharged an appeal for judicial review in a case in which the refugees and asylum seekers were challenging the government's decision to relocate them to the camp. I've been following this story. And I've been writing stories about these refugees, I think, for some time now. The issue in Abuja.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I can say in Ambika, before you know, and Morocco business, business persons, and a banker complain, Nagutia. Zukanga, Masara, Seekers, refugees, and Bill, Mataku Camp, Mabula Kunjaku, Masagula, Mashopu, Mabanga, business, and one Wambiroti. As Malawian because of Mapanga. So Zinazambi would have been able to come to Zarega, but then another thing Jireso Jabala Milando. Now I think I'm Gamulano Naguti.
Yeah, they should go back to Zarega. Yes. And unfortunately, as much as Abanga said deadline by 30 November, I've heard Guti Zuma Bezazoti even in Mashoku down Monoka, Blanta. And Hambomatsi Kumat take no Mashowa Maburundi. Guaga Gamisa would have taken Kumata Magisa. So Penabagame is going to be Ziguiga Bajo Pezomi and first and foremost and 20 and 22. Yes, they are refugees, yes, they are selling tickets, Kumabati and Havida. So you just can't expect you to move to Fora moves as Odi Mukos.
That's why I beg a deadline. You're even in a figure by February next year because they know it has to be a process.
Exactly, which should also be a message. It's not right and they have a deadline. They have a deadline and obviously a deadline which means maybe there are going to be some extreme measures that are going to be taken
still more quine because Antwaja, despite what they are refugees, I can assure you now they are contributing a lot towards the economy of the country. Ambi, the Nima Shopa, so they have employed so many Malawians on Naguti, Munamagata Kazuti, Anyagama Shopo, and Malawi, Muna Kozokungle Banchilan Hojeba, or singing as Bayao Kauka, of which they would be Miriam Penagam Maria 1 billion, Madamina Jao, Ikaba, that is the case right now.
That is the truth to it. All right, I don't know if you have any more locals before
maybe we may move on to business pages.
Okay, so speaking of business, here a headline here is RIFA warns against corruption and fraud, and about the story reads that the Roads Fund Administration RFA has warned implementing agencies of road projects to refrain from corrupt and fraud practices to ensure high quality work. RFA chairperson Matthews Chigankeni issued the warning in Zuzu on Saturday when RFA directors toured road construction projects, including those which are financed by the organization through the Special City Roads Rehabilitation Program. I think Nkani Ugamba ya zokuza chinyengo chimechi makhalabo ndama zimezi mapejekeno ku chidwe mangamisewu. Nthawi zambiri ndalama zimathaubidwa. Olo cement amene kuthawisidwa pamalo mangasewu pacha kwezo kuti nsewu awumanga ngati bridge jana pezeka zokuti kungoyimanga kungoyitsegulira ngati lero mwezi osatha kungoti madzi kungodusapo bridge
nayo siyapita
zimakhala zinthu zochititsa manyazi.
Actually nemona ngati kunali panopa chinyengo chinafika pena paliponse komanso kwambiri anthu mantha anachoka. That's why anthu amankhotina kuti my infrastructure amene ankamangidwa nthawi ya Kamuzu amakhala olimba because during Kamuzu's era there is no way a contractor can try to tamper with such kind of behaviors. So panopa kanga tunana kuti anthu aja anamasuka kwambiri. Yes. All right, I have a story here on the National Business News which says rising food prices to trigger crisis, and part of the story says the World Bank has warned that the rising food prices triggered by the global food crisis will drive millions of people into extreme poverty and erase economic gains, especially in low-income countries such as Malawi. In its latest food security update, the Bretton Woods institution said the war in Ukraine, which has caused supply chains disruption and the continued economic fallout of COVID-19 pandemic, are overseeing years of development gains and pushing food prices to all-time high. So that is the story. You have not kukwera kwa zakudya zokhala kuti zipitizabe ndithu kuvuta kusogolo kuchifukwa cha mavuto ena amene apangapo indicate like Ukraine, nkhondo ya ku Ukraine komanso zosatira zobwera kamba ka muliro wa COVID. Ndiye mayiko amene akhuzike kwambiri na mayiko amene ali oti osachite bwino pachimu kale mayiko osauka like kwathu kuno ku Malawi.
Zosaenda kudziva choncho kuti pano tikuvutika kale ndi magitsi
tikuvutikaso yes now
timagola titadya koma mundima which is fine
now kubwera njala ndikuona bona kuti benjala ulendo noikhabe kuti yovutirapo chifukwa chonena kuti now anthu ndalamaso alibe. Yes, ndama alibe chokudya sokhala kuti kulibe
ndikukwera azi kutenga kuti ndalama zomagulira zakudya.
Yeah, sure, very bad indeed.
I don't know if you have any more business.
We may move on to international stories.
Alright, moving on to international stories. Here in the Daily Times, a headline says Philippines students return to school for the first time since COVID. And part of the story reads that millions of students across the Philippines have returned to the classroom on Monday after one of the world's longest school closures. Philippines was one of the last few countries to transition back to face-to-face learning after COVID struck. Around 24,000 of the country's public schools, or just less than half, will implement 5 days of face-to-face classes. It's been a while. I think in Kalekuti, school to be designed face to face, and I think I don't even remember the last time online. It's been a while, but nobody knows class.
Yeah, sure.
Philippines, it seems it has been a very long time. So it's all on the minimum school. My school was 24,000. I'm a school one. I will take
that was really bad.
And I'm guessing it must be a relief for some of them. When
sure.
Hopefully, at least it's going as time moves on.
Okay, I have another story here which says Odinga challenges the Kenya presidential election results, and it says the Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga yesterday filed a petition in the Kenyan Supreme Court challenging the August 9th presidential election results that favored his main rival William Ruto. BBC quoted one of the Odinga's lawyers, Danny Manzonzo, as having said the petition was filed online yesterday morning, while a physical copy was expected to be submitted at the court's registry in the capital, Nairobi, before the 2 p.m. Kenyan time deadline. Deadline. Yes. So it's about the Kenyan elections. It's about Odinga.
Because apparently he always does this, and this is his 5th time.
Yes.
His 5th time.
Is it
contesting 5th? It's his 5th time contesting and 5th time failing. Yes. So it's 5th. So akoti umwina
wina akoza ugamula zina ngati kwathu kuno ngati mene zinakhaya kwathu kuno. We made history that time, right?
Oh, we definitely did. I think all eyes were on Malawi.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me just take one last one by international news. The headline here reads 12 die in Uganda from suspected alcohol poisoning, and part of the story reads that police in northwestern Uganda are investigating the deaths of a dozen people who are suspected to have consumed a locally manufactured gin between Saturday and Sunday in Madiokolo district. Several others, including one trader who was selling the gin known as CT5 pineapple flavored gin, have been hospitalized with suspected poisoning.
Okay, now quickly let's move on to Arts and Culture pages. I have a story here which says Mulako wa Romwe aims for bigger gains, and the part of the story says Mulako wa Romwe Southern Region chapter Chavez on Blessings Makwinja says they are seeking to achieve greater and bigger goals than merely should be harnessing Lomwe culture values. He said this on Sunday afternoon when the ethnic group held a temporary preparatory meeting at its headquarters at Chonde in Mulanje ahead of this year's commemoration event slated for October 9th.
Alright, speaking of arts and culture, I will take you through one. A headline here reads Kishombe returns with 4th album, and part of the story reads gospel musician Walusungu Kishombe of the Balaam fame has resurfaced with his 4th album titled Jeuga. Kishombe last released an album in 2016 titled Balaam, which he launched in 2018. It's been a minute.
Yes.
I mean, this guy, he's good with his music. And he Balaam.
no up to date show inayo semenanga muitani yeyu
people want him
amafuna kuganda aimbe balamu, and now
exactly.
he has some good dancers right now. If you have seen him performing live, he has some good dancers and Amavina Kwambili, so I think it is keeping him moving.
Of course.
Alright, now turning to the very back page now for local sports. I have a story here which says Nomas want players out of the Flames camp, and part of the story says Maite Mukuru Wanderers have demanded the immediate release of their 7 players who are with the Flames as the condition of should be as the condition to fulfill their 10 Super League match against Salima Sugar. There's a Dynamos at the stadium this Sunday. The demand is contained in a letter which the Nomas have written to Super League of Malawi, Surom. Now, that is the story. I hope never can win. Koma kwambili zona zoti be zimadabwisa kwathu unaona kuti some clubs amalolendo unaona kuti maplayer ano asapite ku camp. You have a next game which is coming. For example, I'll give an example. Bless. They had a game last weekend. Fisi Challenge Cup. Also, wanapanga excuse kuti pesa atu wasa ukalowa mukampo hapo until tumalize kai zizi. Yet anoma wande kuti akumalo ndi players come mukampo, yet they have also some other assignments. So mina make balancing equations zimakangani kuzivuta kwati in terms of kuti maplayer atapanga treat murani.
All right. On the back page of the Times Sport, a headline here reads Mvula shines in Queen's win, Malawi 69, Eswatini 50. And part of the story reads that shooter Joyce Mvula put up an impressive performance to guide the Malawi national netball team to a 69-50 win over Eswatini in the 2023 African Netball World Cup qualifiers in Pretoria, South Africa yesterday. Mvula was deservedly named player of the match despite Queen's unconvincing display. Alright,
let me finish with this one. Rees dominate Chelsea to maintain an unbeaten run. This is a very bad news for me, but I will read it because I have no choice. And it says Rees continued their unbeaten start to the season as they secured a famous win over Chelsea's new look team with a display which will cause Thomas Tuchel nightmares. Wow. Chelsea, who spent more than 170 million pounds on players over the summer, were the architects of their own downfall in the first half. Edward Mendy gifted Rees the opener by miscontrolling a back pass, allowing Brendan Addison to pounce on. Actually, it was just a very bad day for Chelsea.
3-0.
Yeah, but it happens in football. Remember, last week it was Manchester United who lost 4-0.
3-0.
4-0. It was 4-0 Manchester United. This time around Chelsea. It happens in football. It happens in football. And nobody believed
you
that.
You win some, you lose some.
Yes.
You know, I was actually speaking earlier today to say I think some of these games get to be so embarrassing because of the big team that is playing with a small team, and then the small team beats the big team with that much.
With that margin.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, that's what makes it so embarrassing.
Actually, it happens in the world of football.
Yes. Okay, speaking of international news, I'll take you through one which is on football as well. A headline here is Randowski scores first Barca goals on birthday. And part of the story reads Robert Randowski scored his first competitive goals for Barcelona on his 34th birthday at the Catalan club won 4-1, rather as the Catalan club won 4-1 at Real Sociedad to record their first La Liga win of the season. Okay,
so that was his first competitive goals because last weekend they drawn against, was it Cadiz 1-1, but he did not score. So this was his second match, and as far as La Liga is concerned, he scored twice. Yeah,
and on his birthday as well.
Yeah, he's a great player. Has achieved a lot with Bayern Munich. I hope he will also achieve a lot with Barcelona this time around. Meanwhile, with that story, I've come to the very end of today's edition of Press Review here on Luntha Television. Remember, we have just started some of the stories that are appearing in both papers, The Nation and the Daily Times. The Nation newspaper is going out at 1,000 kwacha. Maybe you may be interested to have your own copies.
And so is the Daily Times newspaper.
Alright, that's it from us here. I'm King May Chakamundo and my colleague
Tandy Wemzumara.
Continue enjoying the rest of our programming here on Luntha Television.